There's a lot going on in the housing market. It's a very pivotal time for both buyers and sellers, and that's because there's a lot of economic uncertainty around us. And quite frankly, it's causing a lot of people to push pause on their plans, and you need now more than ever to be able to navigate this market in an educated fashion. So I want to start with a quote today that really helps frame that up. This is from Mark Fleming at First American and says, "When the economic uncertainty dust settles, those buyers and sellers who are on the sidelines will jump back into the housing game." Demographic trends support elevated purchase demand in the years to come. So it's a question of when, not if, for the housing market. So if you're feeling pressure right now of a cooling or a slowdown in the market in your local area, and you want to stay connected to the current market conditions, then reach out to a trusted advisor. And hopefully that's us and our team. That's what we're here for. As the market experts, I can tell you in times of uncertainty, people follow the certain. So our relevant market opinion, based upon fact, is more important than ever for guiding our clients, helping them to step through this process, be a part of this process, and to make the best possible decision. Will mortgage rates keep rising? This is a big part of the fear and uncertainty that people have right now in the housing market. Because take a look at what we are seeing in the media. We are seeing headlines like the U.S. housing market stares down an even bigger economic shock. Mortgage rates near 7%. Mortgage rates reach highest level since 2008. 30-year fixed rate mortgage jumps over 7%. These are all headlines that are out in the media right now, and this is the reality of a rising mortgage rate environment. And when people see this, they get scared. They have that fear, that uncertainty, and it causes them to press pause in their plans. So being able to break it all down and explain what's happening, why mortgage rates are rising, what's expected from the experts, and of course, how can we help our buyers and our sellers is mission critical right now. So let's jump into exactly that. So what we can see here, this is the Freddie Mac 30-year fixed rate from January of the beginning of this year all the way through today. And it says that mortgage rates rise for the 6th consecutive week. Those are those orange bars that you can see over on the right side of your screen. You can see how rates have been rising since the beginning of the year. And look at this sharp incline that we've seen over just the past 6 weeks. Mortgage rates are rising very rapidly. Now what you're seeing here is a look back. This is saying that rates are an average of 6.7%. That was released at the end of September, right before this recording was made. So what we also know is that with mortgage rates rising like this, you may be seeing a number that's even higher than that today. That is very much the reality. But what we can see over time, regardless if it is this week or next week, is the trend is in upward direction. That is what is happening right now. So what I want you to do is take a look at what Sam Cater from Freddie Mac is saying about mortgage rates today. He says the uncertainty and volatility in financial markets is heavily impacting mortgage rates. Our survey indicates that the range of weekly rate quotes for the 30-year fixed mortgage has more than doubled over the last year. So that is a significant increase there, climbing quickly. And the big question that a lot of people have is, why are rates going up so rapidly? Well, let's take a look at what's happening. Odita Kushi from First American says, the aim of the Fed tightening is to curtail demand in an effort to tame inflation. And when it comes to the housing market, the Fed's actions are working. So what the Federal Reserve is doing, we know they don't call mortgage rates, but what they're trying to do is bring inflation down. They're trying to slow the economy. So the moves that the Fed is making to slow the economy is having an impact on mortgage rates. Mortgage rates tend to follow. This is all about inflation. As inflation is high, mortgage rates tend to be high as well. And we've said for a long time that inflation is the enemy of long-term interest rates, and that's exactly where we are today. So the Federal Reserve making moves to lower inflation is what they're trying to do. And until inflation is down significantly, we see mortgage rates rise. Now, what does that do? That is an impact on the housing market, which is very intentional by the Federal Reserve right now. So Odetta Kushi goes on to say, home sales, both new and existing, are falling. Builders have cut back production in response to rapidly declining affordability. We know that this is easing off on the demand. and annual house price growth has slowed from the peak of nearly 21% in March of this year to 16.7% in July. So we're seeing this cooling or slowing in the housing market as a result of rising mortgage rates. This is the reality that buyers and sellers are facing right now, and this has been a trend even more rapidly over the past few weeks. So what everyone also wants to know is what's ahead. What are the experts saying will happen to mortgage rates going forward? So let me break that down for you as well. Even 2 months ago, rates above 7% may have seemed unthinkable at the current pace. We can expect rates to surpass that level in the next 3 months. This is a quote from George right here at realtor.com. And really what he's saying is that even a couple of months ago, experts were projecting that mortgage rates would rise, but we weren't really even talking about 7%. So, as we're starting to see that tick upward, this is all due to inflation. We've been saying that for a while now. We have to watch inflation to see where mortgage rates are going to respond. And this is where we are today. So in a rising rate environment, the best thing we can do is help our buyers and sellers understand what's happening, why it's happening, and of course, what they can do to help navigate this rising rate environment. So I think this quote really is quite powerful. It's from realtor.com as well. It says, "There's no doubt that the increasing mortgage rate will make home buying even more challenging. We're feeling that affordability pinch right now. That is loud and clear. But buyers may still find opportunities as these changes coincide with the time of year when buyers historically found the best market conditions to obtain more bargaining power." So what does that mean? Well, with mortgage rates rising, it's slowed down the pace of sales. At the same time, that has created more inventory or more options in the housing market. So buyers who may have been outbid more times than they can count, or have been searching for that home that they just couldn't find, now that home may be out there. And the frenzy of those multiple offer scenarios is truly behind us for the most part. So that's an opportunity for buyers. Now the challenge on the flip side is the affordability challenge. As mortgage rates rise, it becomes more expensive to secure a home loan. And that is the other challenge. So it's really important as well to have a trusted lender that you are working with, to make sure that you can speak with that lender and work with the lender that you trust, who can help you find the right mortgage, the right loan product, the right mortgage rate, all of those different things that an expert can help guide you through. This is why in times of uncertainty, you need experts on your side. And I want to wrap this section up with this quote from Mark Fleming at First American, because I think it says it nicely. He says, "While mortgage rates are expected to continue to drift higher over the coming months, that's what we're seeing right now. Much of the rapid increase in rates is likely behind us." So that's huge. That's great news nationally. While month over month house prices may decline, annual house price declines are not expected given the ongoing supply and demand imbalance and continued strength in the labor market. So that also opens up the question, what's ahead for home prices? Stay tuned for our next video where we will talk about where home prices are going. And as always, if you have a specific topic or question that you might have, just drop us a note and we'll cover it in an upcoming video.